All right, guys, we're going live here at Dusty Don Urgent Cares. I want to bring something really important to you. We have an actual hospital patient that's going to speak to us from the COVID bed. Someone that I think is dear to me, and I know is going to be definitely dear to you. But they're going to speak to you from the hospital bed as a COVID patient regarding some of the experiences that they went through. So I'm gonna ask the camera person to come around. I'm gonna introduce Val, and I'm gonna let her be comfortable to say the rest of her name if she decides to do so. Val is another angel warrior, if I can say those things and be comfortable about it. Do-gooder, people that works for the cause of trying to make your life different. I do say if she says something that not only helps you, please allow this to help another person, because at this particular point, no one is talking to us. So, Val, before I start, I'm just going to ask you to say a few things to the audience before we go into the conversation about who you are and what city you're located in.
Well, my name is Valerie Benjamin. I'm located here in Atlanta, Georgia. I work in the healthcare industry here in Atlanta. And I actually happened to be patient at the time as a church to give back to the community. And I have to contract this disease.
Thanks, Val. I definitely hear we had a little technical difficulty, but for sure though it's working real good. Before I start some of the conversation that we're going to talk about, let them know how you're currently feeling as a COVID patient in the hospital bed.
Right now, presently, I'm feeling good. For the most part, I can say that I'm feeling good. I felt a little sluggish, a little lethargic earlier, but now I'm feeling much better. I'm excited. I want to be a part of what can make a difference in our life, that people that actually come to this disease and to overcome it by helping one another, was encouraging, operating in faith, not operating in fear, because fear is most appearing real. Okay? And I'm operating in faith. And the key thing is, don't be too busy. I'm too busy doing nothing. But God allowed me to go through this for a purpose, for a reason. It's not about just it's about to help somebody else. So I have to do what I have to do to make it better for the next man. That's what we're here in life. That's what we're here for, to help one another, to help mankind.
So Val, I'm gonna ask you to adjust your camera. Can you show us some of the things that's going on in the bed? Show us what the room looks like. Give us a scan of some of the things. Here, if you can see, is her monitor. We're showing her stats around. I think that's a heart rate around 95. I don't see the saturations. There's the IV and the hospital bed. There's your oxygen. I think you got. Do you have the oxygen on there, Val?
No, I have. Yeah, it's on my finger.
Okay.
It's in the back there. But they got it on my finger where they got me under oxygen all day. Just to give you a heads up, this is what they've been taking with me.
Okay. Can you straighten your camera out a little bit? There you go, so we can see you. There you go.
Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to adjust my paper there. But here's the thing. Number one thing they've been doing is my heart rate, my blood pressure. Okay. They you know, that my oxygen level. And the reason why I came here, my oxygen level was so low. They just remind me that I wasn't getting enough oxygen to my brain. So that's not good for me to be monitored. Okay?
And are you? Well, are you currently on oxygen now? I don't see the. You have the oxygen on your nose now, or they took it off?
No. I've actually been weaned off today. This day, I know that I'm operating on what we call the dog is RM air.
Room air. They have you on room air. I did speak to your doctor. I'm gonna let you hear the conversation that he and I had, because he told me just some good news. He's trying to discharge you tomorrow. He said, but when you get up and you walk around, that your saturation drops a little low. So his concern is, so they may have you another day or two. So I'm going to ask you a few things now, Val. To what actually made you go to the hospital? Why did you feel sick enough to go to the hospital?
God is good, because I tell you this, I probably would have never came here because I had that oxygen thing where you put on your little finger, and I was all my been my best doctor month for my family, and I kept taking 10, 8, 20 times, and I said, okay, I'm fine, I'm okay. My doctor here in the league, when I told him what my status was, he said, no, baby, it's not okay. You need to go to the doctor with the ER right now. You're below the pain. It should be a 90 and above for your oxygen level.
So what were you feeling shortness of breath or chest pain that made you go to the hospital? What were you actually feeling?
I was feeling my chest was tight. I was feeling really tight in my chest. But then I actually got up that day a little bit later on, and I noticed that I was kind of having a difficult breathing a little bit. Seemed like I was walking, and when I'm like, this don't feel normal, And by me feeling that way, I said, you know what? I think I better call the doctor some more. And based on what they said I need to put in.
That's it. So the oxygen saturation had been bad, and I remember you giving me a call that night saying I'm in the emergency room. I think something is wrong, and we went from there. I have a couple of questions. Here they have, as I try to do some teaching with my talks, here they have a man dies in the parking lot after the hospital refused treatment. And this was as of 2 days ago. The wife here stated that she had went to an emergency room and her husband couldn't breathe. And so they made him wait in the car and he ultimately passed away. We're getting a lot of misinformation. Can you tell us, when you got to the hospital, did they triage you fast? Did you have to wait a long time? What was your experience?
They triaged me fast. They did, because when I walked into the emergency room so that I could get in the door. I was so weak that I couldn't pass. I could have fainted right then. And then at the desk, as we walk in, she noticed my symptoms and the lethargy, and I wasn't strong enough. She held on to me. She held me up. And when it got me a wheelchair, and he actually took care of me and threw me right to the front of the desk. And explained to the lady what was going on, whatever, and I was there. I agree, things of that nature, and they began to start to triage.
And they brought her in. So apparently you was that week that they got the wheelchair and brought you right in. And so your triage experience was pretty rapid. And I thank God for that because you were struggling at that point. Now let me know if your air gets short, I might have to order you to put your oxygen back on. I wanna address another concern. Here's something that was posted as an ABC7 as of today. It says the coronavirus, as of several days ago, I'm sorry, this was January the 28th, and the day is the 1st, about 3 days ago. They said the coronavirus vaccine that an Orange County healthcare worker, which is like yourself, died after receiving a second shot that was reported. Now, we're getting a lot of misinformation regarding the vaccine. We're getting a lot of this type of things. And the ideal now is to kind of share a different perspective. Val had actually taken her first dose of the vaccine and was due to get her second dose last week. And she's going to tell us now. Tell us, did you have any symptoms from the first vaccine? What did you feel?
Oh, okay. Let me correct you one minute, Doc. I did take the vaccine right before the disease, but I'm just this week to take the second dose. But I'm at the state open right now in the hospital, and I had second doses. But my first experience with the first one, nothing other than the soreness. I didn't get no fever, nothing behind it. I didn't feel weak. It was garbage or anything. All I felt was the soreness in the arm, like when I get the fever. And that's pretty much all I feel.
Okay, so when you got the shot, all you felt was soreness at the injection site. Is that correct?
That's it.
No fever, nothing like that. And it was some time after that you actually contracted virus, like 5 days or long. It wasn't right after the shot.
I would say it wasn't right after the shot. I think it probably had to be maybe a couple of 7 days or 10 days after that I ended up getting this. Wait a minute. It might be less. I'm more than that because I got the shot on January 14th.
Okay, so I have a question. If you can be so kind to tell the audience, even with the vaccine, the first vaccine, it only gives you up to 50%. It takes 2 weeks to kick in before the first vaccine, and the second vaccine actually ends up going a little bit to 90-something%. So I'm just going to ask you two things. One is, was it the Moderna or Pfizer vaccine? And the second thing is, it was Pfizer vaccine? Pfizer. And the second thing is, how, if you're comfortable, tell us what could have actually allowed you as a healthcare worker to contract the virus, the COVID virus? Was it somebody not wearing a mask or the patient?
I think it's a combination of things. Because here's the thing. We as essential workers have to be very careful and be, don't get so lackadaisy, okay, in regards to working among one another. Because we working among one another every day, and you think, okay, I need them. Let's use the mask, wash well, social distance, face the patient. So you go home, you be around family members, other people, go to grocery stores, whatever. You run into all these different things. You don't know who you run into. They might have it out there. Then you come back to work, okay? And then you never know. And then here we go. And that's individual co-worker again. And be accept the man. Don't spread the disease. And here, I'm with COVID, and I'm in the hospital. just because you didn't know,
Okay,
you
so
didn't do your due diligence.
so it is clear that it could have been someone that didn't have a mask on that may have got you the exposure. That's a correct statement? Oh, okay. Now, the reason I bring that up is the news as of today is saying that we're getting ready to have a Category 5 COVID hurricane, which means that a Category 5 is like the worst hurricane that you can think of. And at this particular point, we're in the eye of the hurricane. And this is released from the CDC. They expressed it as you and I are sitting on the beach, and the weather is about 70 degrees, and the skies are perfectly blue. But they said it about 450 miles offshore. It's like telling people to evacuate this nice, beautiful day because a hurricane is coming. Now, they brought that up because they're saying, as fast as we are opening restaurants, we're likely going to be closing them in the near term, which they're saying, I'm going to exercise. They're using it within the next 6 to 14 weeks. We're going to be hit with the new virus, and it's the new virus strain we're talking about. As they come in, the U.S. reported 467 coronavirus variant of the UK, and there's this new one that's coming from South Africa and Brazil, which has been seen in South Carolina and Maryland. They're saying that this new variant in the next 6 weeks is going to be more aggressive, and that in the next 6 weeks that we may be locking down again, because this thing is what they're describing now is going to be like a hurricane, and they're telling us that we're in the eye of the hurricane where everything seems normal, but when the new strand comes in, it and itself is going to be deadly as well. So that's one of the things we want to bring up as we have these conversations. Now remember, we're talking to someone who is live in a COVID bed and has expressed to us what their symptoms were, how they feel, and what they went through. Now we're going to ask, you received remdesivir, which is Regeneron, which we call the Donald Trump medication. Can you tell us how many times you received the medication, and how did you feel after you received the quote-unquote antidote to the vaccine? To the virus.
Okay, yeah. They call it, I think they call it a series, but I don't know what consists of a series. What, 3 days, 2 days, 7 days? But I can say this. Every time I was here, they gave me that
Remdesivir, the Donald Trump medicine. Let's call it the Donald Trump medicine.
Yeah, the Donald Trump medicine, whatever you want to call it, Remdesivir. And I get it, and I take it for an hour, but I feel no kind of way. I don't feel bad, good, or indifferent. Just a normal feeling. I feel that I'm normal again, and just run out, and my breathe to make me feel better. I just make a difference, make me feel better. The antidote, what you call it?
Remdesivir is the antidote. So there was no heart palpitation. You didn't feel jittery. It didn't make you tremor. No shortness of breath.
No, I didn't feel nothing. I can tell you, boy, God got a way to take care of you, boy. Got a good strong immune system out. We got it. It's not that at all.
Well, we know you're a fighter, but now they get a first-hand exposure of what it's like to even take the antidote Remdesivir from a hospital patient and know if they do contract COVID, they shouldn't receive any bad side effects from that. Now, we do have a recording from your doctor and I earlier before I let you go. I know where you are is probably about 9 or so at night, and I am so thankful for you letting the audience know. And I say this to everyone: if these talks are helpful to you, please allow us to help others, because that's what this is about, by sharing the videos and putting the word out, because the misinformation is very dangerous. But someone that's actually talking to us can help us navigate what it's like when I walk into the hospital. What would I be waiting in my car and pass? What it's like when I actually took a vaccine. Did I feel jittery or my heart act up? And even after I took the vaccine, I still got COVID. So that doesn't mean that once I get vaccinated, I have to stop wearing my mask. I have to act indifferent, which means now I can go out to baseball games and interact with other family members without using protective gear. And lastly, this is the idea and the opportunity to kind of process the treatment. The treatment, which she described as the Regeneron, which is remdesivir. How did that affect me? What are they doing? My oxygen saturation. They're monitoring my oxygen saturation. I've been weaned off room air. She didn't tell you, but when she first got there, her oxygen saturation was in the low 80s, 82 to 84. And she was on 4 liters of oxygen. She didn't tell you, but her x-ray had bilateral COVID pneumonia, which was very difficult. And these are things that I want to bring. So you now, if I'm helpful, then allow us to help others, because medicine to me is more than just helping within the clinic. I've used the opportunity as God has given me to help as many people stretch out of the clinic and still do medicine, which sometimes it's not just giving you a pill. If I'm helping you even through our conversation, I'm still doing what I think my purpose is by trying to make a difference in people's lives. Hear what your doctor said from our conversations this morning, so you get to see Dr. Allen talk to your doctor. Hello, Dr. Allen. Can you hear me there? I can barely hear you. Let me try my other phone. Hold on one second. Is that better? Can you hear me? Oh, yeah. Thanks so much. Hey, I'm calling you about Valerie Benjamin. Trying to get an update. How is she doing?
Well, she's doing well. She's on room air right now.
Oh, wow. Now, that's impressive. What's the stats on room air?
When I saw her this morning, around 94, 95%.
That's not bad.
I wanted to discharge her today, but the issue is when she ambulates, so when she walks around the bed twice, her oxygen levels drop down to about 87%.
Yeah. Are we doing any deep breathing exercises at all?
Yeah, I gave her an infectious barometer this morning, so hopefully it's going to help with things. She should have already had one. I had to double check, but she should have an infectious barometer to help with the deep breathing. My hope is that maybe another 24 hours and she won't need to go home on oxygen. But if she continues to desat when she's ambulating, then she may need a little bit of oxygen, maybe even 2 liters with ambulation.
Good deal. And I think she's currently on dexamethasone or decadron. What do you guys have her on in terms of steroids?
I didn't think of the medication, but it will be the protocol that we have just everybody that comes in with COVID goes on a decadron.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, because I figured that when I asked her for what the labs were showing, even including the ER physician that was there that night prior to the actual diagnosis Monday. They was running the same COVID protocol. Yeah. All right, so she's looking good. That's a good sign. That's a real good sign. Especially if you're looking at discharging them. I got something positive to tell them. All right. Hey, well, thanks for taking the call. Please let me know if there's anything that changes. I think she gave you my number.
Yeah,
So that's me talking to your doctor, letting him know that you got an angel warrior on your team. And he was very happy. He said, "Looks like you're going to be going home tomorrow." Before I let you go, is there anything you would like to tell the audience from your heart that would be beneficial?
I can't say enough to don't be too busy. You're doing nothing. Pay attention. Listen to God. God is speaking to us in these times. And listen. And the thing I can hear, people are not even people feeling in their spirit. People operating in fear. Because they say, try to come up on me and cripple me. But I know fear is false evidence appearing real. Okay? Like I said, no, fear means false evidence appearing real. So you just don't come up at all. You got to have faith in your process that God is with you, that you can do this. And that God is with you. He said, he thinking things that are think of it as a good report. Things are good that are lovely and of a good report. He says you think on anything, think on those things. That means think on him. He can do anything but say, that's my kids is for the people to know that God never said his name is Emmanuel. He is with us. He's not never leaving you. But you stand on God's word and know that you can overcome anything.
Now that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. Give her a chance.
Fight the good fight. Fight dog fight.
Fight dog fight. I like it. I didn't get her a chance. I do want to make sure I pay respect. Can you tell us about the church angel warriors, the one that called and prayed with you? Because I tell people that prayer is also essential in helping people get through the virus because it spiritually touches you well. I want to make sure that I don't leave out the prayer angels from your church.
Church, I can tell you my church family came from WCI. And I tell you, the WCI family, we are strong. I tell you, they can't build a house together. Once we come together, that's the key thing about things with people. And they gotta realize when you operate in unity, nothing can stop you.
I like that.
When you operate in division, you can't do nothing. You can't come together. You can't accomplish nothing. But when you operate as one, it's that life.
I'm gonna leave it with that. I'm gonna leave it when you operate as unity, you can't be stopped. Val, I thank you so much for talking to the audience and sharing from the hospital bed as a COVID patient, trying to give you some energy and some information to make your life better. Thanks for watching Conversations with Dr. Al.